Well, here we are in the month of October already. It's October 1st, 2021. It seems like the year is almost over, but we have some more devotionals to get into. Oswald Chambers, My Utmost for His Highest. I'm your host, Pastor Gabriel Colangelo, and if you want to look me up down the road or tell somebody about the channel who hasn't subscribed, that's the easiest way, is just subscribe and you'll find me. But if you want to look me up, just type in my name on YouTube, Gabriel Colangelo. That's the name of the channel. So if you can remember my name, you could find me and send the video to somebody or tell them to look it up. So a few people have asked me. That's probably the simplest way. But let's get into the topic today. The sphere of exaltation. Mark 9:2. Jesus leadeth them up into a high mountain apart by themselves. We have all had times on the mount when we have seen things from God's standpoint and have wanted to stay there. But God will never allow us to stay there. The test of our spiritual life is the power to descend. If we have power to rise only, something is wrong. It is a great thing to be on the mount with God, but a man only gets there in order that afterwards he may get down among the devil-possessed and lift them up. We are not built for the mountains and dawns and aesthetic affinities. Those are for moments of inspiration. That is all. We are built for the valley, for the ordinary stuff we are in. And that is where we have to prove our mettle or worth. Spiritual selfishness always wants repeated moments on the mount. We feel we could talk like angels and live like angels if we could only stay on the mount. The times of exaltation are exceptional. They have their meaning in our life with God. But we must beware lest our spiritual selfishness wants to make them the only time. We are apt to think that everything that happens is to be turned into a useful teaching. It is to be turned into something better than teaching, which is, into character. The mount is not meant to teach us anything. It is meant to make us something. There is a great snare in asking, what is the use of it? In spiritual matters, we can never calculate on that line. The moments on the mountaintops are rare moments, and they are meant for something in God's purpose. Wow. That was a powerful one today, guys. I don't know if it hit you like it hit me, but that was my favorite one yet. That was mountaintop mind-blowing. So I'm getting ready to have a conference this Saturday. So if anyone's in the Southern California area, we're having a men's conference at Oasis Community Church, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come on out. Hopefully it'll be like one of those mountaintop experiences that he talks about where it changes your thinking and makes you into something, right? And it's this epiphany moment. That's what we look for in conferences and retreats and times away. And yet Chambers is saying that there's something even more important. Those are important. They're meant to change us. They're meant to instill something in us. And yet, it's the mundane things of life. The waking up every morning and listening to this devotional or reading the scripture, getting up and going to church each Lord's Day, getting involved in Bible studies, praying, maybe in prayer with your family or teaching your children. All of these are the basic, mundane, simple things of life that aren't mind-blowing and epiphanies and this new realization, and yet that's how we're changed. That's how the Lord grows us. And those mountaintop experiences that we sometimes seek after are meant to give us the inspiration and then send us back into the world to be better, to be changed, to, as he says, to help the devil possessed, to help people with real issues. And we have to be careful not to always seek those emotional type experiences thinking that the power is in those things themselves, because it's not, and those are rare. Those are the first dates, those are the honeymoons, those are like the 21st birthdays, those big things that you remember. Yes, they're amazing, and yet that isn't what life is like every day. Same with our spiritual retreats. We're not going to feel the Lord in the same sense every day, but we're called to be faithful, and we're called to live transformed and be transformed by the hearing of His Word, by the reading of His Word, by the process of discipleship through the church. These are all meant to be the true agents of development and change and learning. Those mountaintop experiences aren't just times of learning, as he says. They're meant to be moments of change in which we experience God, and then we go and learn, right? And so I remember being in 8th grade and having a very emotional experience at a retreat, and I had some great retreats before that and some great retreats after that. But I remember there was a point in college that I got to that I couldn't replicate that same emotion, that same experience, that same feeling of closeness to God, and it left me a little bit sad. It left me a little bit wondering, like, God, what are you doing? Where I can't hear you the same way, I don't feel you the same way. And I came to realize, as Chambers said, those moments, right? That powerful moment I had in 8th grade, which just set the course of my life, which prepared me for high school, that made me just throw off all the things that I cared about. That was a powerful moment, but I needed to start growing in the Word and being discipled and living out my faith, which I did, but I was looking for the experience each and every time, trying to recreate it. If I go back to the same mountain, on that same rock, that same place, with the same people, I should have the same experience because we're reading the Bible. But that was, God did that in that time, and He doesn't, that's why there's things called miracles, right? If miracles happened every day, they wouldn't be miracles. And so we're to not just chase the feeling or chase this emotional experience all the time, but to look for God in the simplicity, the normalities of life and of church going and of discipleship, to really grow us into the Christians that He wants us to be. Yes, use those times of encouragement to guide us, right? To send us back into the world, but those experiences are meant to plant us that we can then serve and be faithful unto others in the world. So ponder those things. Maybe you've been chasing kind of this emotional experience. I think we all have, but what do you need to do to really root and ground yourself? Let us ponder that. We'll see you tomorrow.